Okay, you were discussing in the previous class about stability of the amplifier. So any network, if you take any network, that amplifier must be stable in its operation, or it must be able to capable of maintaining its characteristic effectively while it is operating. Okay, like operating characteristic means, as I said in the previous class, one of the example is a gain. Gain is the operating characteristic. That means that gain should be constant for while the amplifier is operating, the gain whatever you set must be constant. Okay, similarly other parameters may be considered. Okay, maybe a bandwidth or whatever other parameters may be considered. In our design it is a gain must be constant over while the amplifier is operating. So but sometimes what happens if if you are do not choose this input impedance and the output load impedance. See, this is a what we are using, input matching network and output matching network. They are designed to get a particular value of gain. Okay, like a 2 dB and 1 dB example we got in the previous class. So to get that particular value of gain, we need to get a input impedance looking in this direction equal to some value. To that value, you should adjust that as ZS. Okay, whenever, so you have to design this matching network such that looking in this direction towards the source, the impedance must be equal to ZS. Okay, that ZS is on the constant gain circle, as as we saw in the previous class. It is on the constant gain circle. See, like this, it is on the this is a gain circle what we have drawn in the previous class. One for one of the example, like zs must be live over one of this okay, to get that particular value of gain. Similarly zl must be live over one over this circle. But if you choose any value over like this, over any value as we saw, but some values of ZS may lead to oscillation. The system may start oscillate if you use any value over this. Okay, we cannot use directly the value over this circle, any value over this. Okay, similarly, we cannot take ZL also any value over this circle as a ZL. This is a load gain circle. Okay, to get a 1 dB, for example, we were done in the previous class 0 dB. Okay, but what we are expecting, we want to we have to choose one of the values ZL over the circle. But sometimes what happens if that if you take any value, okay, so without stability check, that is called as stability check. Without stability check, if you take some value over this, that value may leads to the oscillation of the network. Okay, that's why before choosing the value, okay, we have drawn this gain circle, the output gain circle and input, but you should check one more condition also, that is called as the stability check for a given network. Okay, so what value we have to choose over this circle, or okay, that we have to test, that is called as a stability check. See, in the stability check what we are doing is, actually we are finding in general, okay, what value of impedance we can use over the Smith chart. If you want that amplifiers to be stable, which can we use any value over this to keep the amplifier in the stable state, or only a values over a particular area over this Smith chart. See, this is a impedance chart. You know, impedance varies over this chart. Impedance may be something here like this. Here we will be having negative reactance, like that. See, in the while designing amplifier, what we do is, first we will be checking that stability of the amplifier. In the stability of the amplifier, first you will check, and from that check, that is called a stability check. There are two ways are there to check the stability of a amplifier. One is a graphical solution, another is a analytical solution and a graphical solution. First we will see the graph analytical solution. Okay, using that analytical method, you can come to know whether can we use any value over this, or only a particular values over this Smith chart as a ZS and ZL. Okay, as a ZS and ZL. See, if you use any sometime if you while checking, you may come to know we can use unconditionally stable. There are two type of stabilities are there: conditional stability and unconditional stability. So we have to check for that stability of the amplifier. Okay, stability of the amplifier. We have to check before taking the value over this circle or this circle. Okay, so we will be drawing this constant gain circle, but you do not choose the values. Before choosing the values over this, what we have to do, you should check first the stability condition. Okay, to check the stability of the amplifier, here is the method. Okay, you see here, this stability of the amplifier, you can check using two methods. That is a graphical method and the analytical method. You can use two methods. There are two methods, graphical or analytical solution. See like this, analytical solution of stability. There are two, graphically also we can do that. First we will see analytical solution. Okay, so in the analytical solution, actually stability, there are two type of stability are there. Two types of stability here: unconditional stability and conditional stability. As we were discussing in the previous class, unconditional stability and conditional stability. See here, some devices are there. Okay, S parameters. Device means it is characterized by its S matrix. Okay, S matrix will be provided to the transistor. From the transistor S matrix, we can come to know that transistor or that device is unconditionally stable. That means you can use any value over the Smith chart. So this unconditional stability or unconditional stability you have to check here. Okay, so that how do you check this conditional stability, unconditional stability? That is using the S matrix of the given device. Okay, so S matrix will be provided. See like this is an example. S matrix will be provided like this is some BJT. S matrix will be provided. Using this S matrix, you can come to know whether the device is conditionally stable or unconditionally stable. Unconditionally stable or conditionally stable. See, here unconditionally stable means the values of tau in and tau out, as we discussed here, tau in and tau out. See, these tau in and tau out depends upon the value of ZL and ZS. See here, tau in depends on tau L, tau in depends on tau L. See this tau in, looking into this direction, tau in. As we saw, this tau in should not become greater than 1. It should not be greater than 1 to in. It should be less than 1 or equal to 1. That is a required condition. See, if this 2 in becomes greater than 1, the amplifier start oscillating. Oscillating means the gain may not retain at same value whatever you set. For example, we set it at 15 dB. It may not retain at a 15 dB. It may increase or decrease. That means the gain start oscillating. It may increase, it may come down, or it may get saturated. Like that will happen if 2in is greater than 1. Okay, that is usually oscillation takes place. That means the gain go on increasing. Finally, it may saturate. It may not be the whatever be required value. Okay, that happens. So tau in should be less than 1. Similarly, tau out, whatever you are said, that should be less than 1. Okay, so if you want an amplifier to be stable, what the condition required is tau in, tau out must be less than 1 or equal to 1. Boundary. Equal to 1 is the boundary of the tau in and tau out. And as we can see here, tau in depends upon tau L. Tau L means ZL, whatever the value you set here, ZL. So tau in depends on ZL. Okay, you choose a value of ZL here. Okay, tau L means ZL. Okay, you set a value of ZL. For that value of ZL, this should not become greater than 1. Okay, similarly, this tau out depends upon the tau S, that means ZS. So we are setting here ZS while designing the impedance matching. So that while choosing this TOS means ZS, this toe out should not be greater than 1. Okay, so like that value only you have to choose. What value you have to choose here for a TOEL? That means ZL must be the such the way it should not make this toe IN greater than 1. Similarly, whatever you choose ZS should not make this toe out greater than 1. That way we have to choose here. Okay, so this so for example no, okay, TOEL, then ZL we have to choose, it should not be greater than 1. Such TOEL should not be greater than 1. So here what happens in unconditional stability, you check the unconditional stability. After checking you will come to know that the device is unconditionally stable. Unconditionally stable means you take any value over the Smith chart. See, Smith chart is that is the impedance chart. It's a combination of impedance value. You can take any value over that Smith chart. Those all those values, whatever the impedance you take, that for all those values 2in remains less than 1. Similarly, you take any value over the Smith chart, we will have this 2 out is a less than 1. So if that is the case, then it is called unconditional stability. For all value of TOS and TOL, that means all value of ZS and ZL, TON and TOUT are lesser than 1. So automatically entire Smith chart, whatever the impedance is there, that gives the stable operation. You can use any value over that. You can use any value, no need not to bother, it may increase the value of TOI and TOUT greater than 1. Because from the test, there is a test, we will see that what is the test. From the test we come to know that amplifier is unconditionally stable. Okay, unconditionally stable means any value you can use, need not to worry. All the values of Smith chart gives a 2in and 2 out lesser than 1. Okay, so any value you can choose, need not to go for the checking the value of ZL and ZS. Once we come to know the amplifier is unconditionally stable, you can choose any value over the circle, that gain circle. Okay, because any value you can change, because it is on the Smith chart, that value gives the 2in lesser than 1. Need not to worry about what value you have to choose over the gain chart. See your gain circle. So in the gain circle, see here is a gain circle here. If from the stability check, we can come to, if you come to know like it is unconditionally stable, the amplifier is unconditionally stable. Okay, then you can use any value over this Smith chart that doesn't increase the value of 2in and 2 out greater than 1. So automatically, see, this circle is on the Smith chart. See, this circle is on the Smith chart here. So any value means over this circle is on the Smith chart. This circle also on the Smith chart. You can choose any value, either this or this, any value. If the system is unconditionally stable, if the system is unconditionally stable, from the check, if you come to know it is unconditionally stable, you can take any value over this or any value over this for the load that doesn't increases the 2 out and 2 in greater than 1. Okay, so you do the check. Once the amplifier is unconditionally stable, need not to worry about what value you have to take over the circle, what value you're supposed to take over the circle, or what value over the circle you have to take. Because any value you take, that gives the stable operation only. 2in and 2 out is lesser than 1. So, so you should first check whether the amplifier is unconditionally stable. Okay, is it unconditionally stable? Okay, so once you, after the checking, if you come to know it is unconditionally stable, then need not to worry about what value you have to choose over the circle. You can use any value over the circle. Similarly, any value over the circle if it is unconditionally stable, that amplifier. Okay, how to check that unconditionally stable? See here, this is unconditionally stability. Okay, how to check that unconditional stability? That is through analytically you can check it. Analytical solution. How to do that? You see, you should do this calculation. that is called as a delta value, and k value. You do the parameters, a delta parameter, k and parameter. This is also called as a delta k delta check, k delta. Okay, first you do the delta k and b1. Their delta means using this S matrix parameters. See, for a given device, S matrix will be provided. We get a value of delta. Similarly, get a value of k. Okay, b1. These are the equations. You get a value of delta k and b1. So now using these three parameters, you can come to know whether it is a conditionally stable or unconditionally stable. Calculate the value of k and delta. See here, three parameter test criteria. Based on these definitions, a two-port network will be conditionally stable if and only if either one of the following mathematically equivalent criteria are satisfied. If any one of these criteria are satisfied, then that device is unconditionally stable. Okay, so you take a S parameters, calculate these parameters. Okay, afterwards what you have to do, you check for these three condition. Okay, check for this condition means you see, is a k greater than 1. You calculated here k value you are calculating, delta value you are calculating, b value you are calculating here. You see whether k is greater than 1, and this is greater than 1, and this term is greater than 1. Okay, if all these are greater than 1, then that amplifier is unconditionally stable. That amplifier is unconditionally stable. You can take any value over the Smith chart as a ZS and ZL. So automatically you choose for 2 dB, the values are laying on the 2 dB circle. Similarly, 1 dB circle, you can take any value like that. So you test for k this parameter and this parameter. If these are the greater than 1, that is unconditionally stable. System is unconditionally stable. You can use any impedance over that Smith chart as a input impedance. But we cannot use again. You have to use the to get a 2 dB gain. You should use only the values over that circle. Are you getting? Do not confuse. Any value over the Smith chart gives the stability. See, if it k is greater than, this is greater, this is also greater, it is unconditionally stable. Or you can test for this. Okay, second one, you see, k greater than 1, delta less than 1. K must be greater than 1, delta must be less than 1. That is also unconditionally stable. Any one of this you have to check, either 1 or 2 or 3. You can do this. Actually, usually this will be done with the problem. You check the value of k and delta value. If k is greater than 1, delta is less than 1, that system is unconditionally stable. Okay, or you can do like this also, k value and b value both must be greater than 1. That also gives the conditional check, unconditionally stable. The system is unconditionally stable. But if k is lesser than 1, see, you will be doing the calculation here. Okay, if k value is lesser than 1, that is called as conditionally stable. The system becomes conditionally stable. Okay, it is not unconditionally stable. See here, two type of I said unconditionally stable and conditionally stable. Unconditionally stable means k and delta, any one of this it should satisfy. K greater than and delta less than 1. If the system satisfies this, it is unconditionally stable. Now, for example, if k less than 1, what is the meaning of that? It is conditionally stable or potentially unstable. It is also called as potentially unstable. The system is potentially unstable. Okay, that means, see, unconditionally stable means uh, you take any value of ZS and any value of ZL. See, any value of all positive real values of ZS and ZL. All positive real values of ZL and ZS and ZL. Tau in and tau out are lesser than 1. You take any value of, if it is a case, if you take any value of ZS and ZL, if tau n is lesser than 1, that is called as unconditionally stable. Okay, you cannot check by taking all values of ZS and ZL. That's why k and delta method we are using. K and delta method we are using. Use a k, delta and b values. and find out whether they are uh, k greater than 1, delta less than 1. That says for all values of zs and zl, 2in and 2 out are lesser than 1. That is a check, because manually we cannot do put all values of zs and calculate a 2in, put all values of zl and calculate a 2l. That we cannot do. That's why the tests are there. Just a calculate a k value, delta value. From the values of k and delta, we can come to know the system is unconditionally stable. If k greater than delta less than 1, it says it is unconditionally stable. That means 2i and 2 out are lesser than 1 for all values of zl and zs. Okay, that is a 1. But if k is lesser than 1, see, k should be greater than 1 for unconditional stability. If k is lesser than 1, delta is something that is called as conditionally stability. Conditional stability means not for all values. Some positive real values of zs and zl gives the 2 in and 2 out lesser than 1. But some values of zs and zl may give a 2 in and 2 out greater than 1. Okay, not all values of zs and zl gives the 2 in and 2 out lesser than 1. Only a few values of zs and zl gives the some values gives the 2 in and 2 out lesser than 1. Okay, but remaining values, if you take, those may give the value of 2 in and 2 out greater than 1. Once a 2 in 2 out greater than 1, that is because oscillating, the amplifier start oscillate. So we cannot use those values of zs and zl. Are you getting? If zs is if some values, if you take those values may give a values of 2 and 2 greater than 1. So automatically for those values the amplifier start oscillating. So we cannot take any value of zs and zl. You have to choose what value you have to choose. Okay, that's why that is called as conditionally stability. For some values only we will be getting 2 and 2 out lesser than 1. So while doing a check k, delta and b, if k is lesser than 1, that means it is conditionally stability. Conditional stability means only for few values or some values of zs and zl, the system is stable. Okay, that is the case here. Okay, you understood. So first you do the test, k, calculate delta k and b. Based on the value of this delta k and b, you can come to know whether it is conditionally stable or unconditionally stable. Okay, so here k is greater than 1, delta is less than 1. That is unconditionally stable. Once the system is unconditionally stable, uh, any value you can choose zs and zl, that gives the stable operation. That is the stability check. You can use any value over the Smith chart, that gives the stable operation. Okay, so here, see, for the stable unconditionally stable means you can use any value over this Smith chart. That becomes a stable operation only. Once k and delta, k greater than 1, delta less than 1, this we came to know it is a unconditionally stable system. You can use any value over this, that gives a stable operation. 2in and 2 are always less than 1. Okay, it is a stable operation. Okay, but again, but we want a 2 dB only, 2 dB gain. Then what we have to do? You cannot use any value. You should use only the values over the circle. Are getting? If you want a 2 dB, you should only use a values over this. You can use, it will give a stable operation. Stable operation you can get. You can use any value over here, or here also you can use. But what we wanted, only we wanted 2 dB, 2 dB gain. For that, what you do, you should draw like this circle, 2 dB gain circle. Okay, but after drawing 2 dB gain circle, you can use any value over the circle. Need not to worry. Any value you can take, either this, because all those values gives the stable operation. Okay, because any value over this Smith chart gives a stable operation means if you take any value over this circle, that gives a stable operation. Okay, need not to worry what value you have to take over this circle to get a stable operation, because we already checked it from delta and k method. We checked any value over the Smith chart gives the stable operation. But to get a 2 dB gain, you cannot use any value like here or here. That 2 dB only occurs if you take values only over the circle. So you can take any value over this circle now as a impedance ZS. Need not to worry about whether it gives a stable operation or not, because you already checked it using delta and k. Okay, so you for 2 dB you draw a circle and you can take any value over this circle. Okay, if it is unconditionally stable. Okay, like similarly you can take any value over this if it is unconditionally stable. Okay, this is called as a stable region now. If delta k is greater than 1, delta is less than 1, any value over this gives the stable operation. In such a case, need not to worry about what value you have to choose over the circle. You can choose any value over the circle or this circle to get a stable operation. Okay, so that is for unconditional stability. So how to do the conditional and unconditional stability check? That is by using delta and k method. Here, any one of this satisfies. Usually we go for this k delta test. Okay, you calculate these two. That is delta here and k here. Check them if it is unconditionally stable. Now, okay, if this is k is lesser than 1, you cannot expect the 1 k always greater than 1 for all the devices. If you will choose a device, if k is lesser than 1, then what is the one? It is conditionally stable. It is conditionally stable. Okay, only few values of ZS and ZL gives tau I and tau out lesser than 1. We cannot choose the ZS and ZL any value over the Smith chart. You have to only particular values of ZL gives a stable operation. Okay, so in such a case, well, then what values you have to take, ZL and ZS? That is a question now. Okay, what values, which values of ZS and which values of ZL gives a stable operation? So if the system is conditionally stable, then what we have to do? You should use a one more that is called as graphical method. You should draw a graphical method. You should go for graphical method. Analytical approach is first you do the analytical approach. Analytical solution first you do. Analytical solution means finding this delta k and b. Okay, you check it. Is a k greater than 1, delta less than 1? If those two are satisfied, it is unconditionally stable. Need not to go for graphical solution. Need not to go for graphical solution. Okay, if k is lesser than 1, that means conditional stability. Then what you have to do? You should go for graphical solution. Okay, if conditionally stable, that means if k is lesser than 1, delta is may not be less than 1, it may be something or it may be less than, but both must satisfy. That means k must be greater, delta must be lesser. But for example, k is lesser than 1, then you come to know it is not unconditional, it is a conditional stability. Then you have to go for graphical solution. Okay, sorry, X. See, is it audible, my voice? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Okay, okay. See here, here is a problem. You see here, I have done one more also you can do. See, these three check we can do. You can check the b value. Need not to go for all the. If you are using this, second one, two parameter test criteria, k delta test. What you can do? Calculate only delta and k, and find out whether what is the value of delta, what is the value of k. If k greater, delta lesser, it is enough. Okay. So the unconditionally stable. The system is unconditionally stable. Need not to go for b calculation. B is not needed if you are using this 2. Okay, but if you are using k and b1, both must be greater. You need not to calculate delta. See, if you calculate b1 and k, need not to do this calculation. You can find if k greater than 1, b1 greater than 0, that is a stable operation. Any one of these must satisfy. You can do this, you can do this, or you can do this. If you do this, if both are k greater than 1, b1 greater than 0, it is unstable, unconditionally stable. Okay, so need not to calculate all the three. Any two you can do, either delta k or k and b. Okay, because while in the examination it may take time if you start doing all. Any of these two you can do. Delta k usually we follow. You can do that and test whether it is unconditionally stable or conditionally stable. Okay, if unconditionally stable, need not to go for graphical method. Graphical analytical solution is enough. Analytical solution. Okay, graphical method need not be followed. Okay, if it is conditionally stable, then only you should go for graphical method. Now we will see what is that graphical method, why it is needed. Okay, if it is system is conditionally stable, you should go for this graphical test also. Okay, analytical test is not enough. Analytical solution is not enough. Okay, you should go for graphical because you should find out here. You should find out what values of ZS and ZL we should use to get a stable operation. Okay, that's why you should go. Okay, in the previous case, unconditional, all values on the Smith chart are stable. Any value you can use that always 2i and 2 out lesser than 1. Need not to find out what values are giving unstable operation, because all values gives a stable operation. But here you should check which values are giving stable operation. Okay, for that you should do the graphical analysis. Okay, okay, we will see that. Okay, so these are another method is called, this is single parameter test also you can use. See, instead of k greater than b1 greater than k greater than delta less than, you can use single parameter test. This is called as a mu parameter test. If this is greater than 1, then also it is unconditionally stable. Okay, only one parameter you need to check, mu. Okay, put all the values here, but here delta is needed here. See, actually to calculate mu manually it is difficult. That's why only we go through this k delta method or k b1 method. They are easy to do. Instead of even it is a single parameter check, mu greater than 1, it is unconditionally stable. But to do this calculation itself, it is a more time. That's why usually we follow either this or this. Better this method in the examination. Okay, now do this and check whether it is conditionally stable or unconditionally stable. For unconditionally stable, k and delta values must satisfy this, then it is unconditionally stable. Need not to go for graphical test. Okay, if it is conditionally stable, if k less than 1, then what we have to do, you should, after doing this analytical check, you should proceed for graphical solution also. Okay. Hmm. Now we will see, for example, see this is a, I have done here parameter is. Okay, some transistor is given here. Okay, for this transistor, S matrix are given here, S parameters. So these are the S parameters given. Okay, is this transistor unconditionally stable? The question is like that. It may ask for 4 marks. Okay, the question may 4 or 5 marks they may ask. Okay, what is the question is check is a transistor unconditionally stable. What we have to do, calculate delta value and k value using those equations. Okay, for this problem, for using these values for the transistor, we will come to know k is this value. Substitute and do it. Okay, it is 2.28. It is greater than 1 and delta value 0.16. Okay, substitute this and this, you will be getting it is 0.16. That means lesser than 1. So it is unconditionally stable. Unconditionally stable. So any value you can choose as a ZS and ZL over the Smith chart. They give a stable operation for this particular amplifier. But you can see here this transistor example. A BJT has the following S parameters. This is a S parameter. Okay. Again, is the transistor unconditionally stable? What you have to do? You check again K and delta. See, like this. K value we get. Actually, for this particular transistor, we got K is this. See, lesser than 1 year K, less than 1. And delta, it is delta is magnitude is less than 1, but K also less than 1. What we are expecting, K must be greater than 1, but it is less than 1. So it is conditionally stable, potentially unstable. Okay, the system is not unconditionally stable. See, unconditional, it is not unconditional, it is conditionally stable or potentially unstable. Conditionally stable is also called as potentially unstable. Okay, so like this you can do the K and delta check to analyze whether it is conditionally stable or unconditionally stable. Okay, so the definition I told here, definition, if they ask you to define, see what is meant by unconditional stability, what is meant by conditional stability, what you should write. See here, this a network is said to be unconditionally stable in a frequency range if and only if uh, tau in and tau out must be lesser than 1 for all tau s greater less than 1, tau l less than magnitude of this. That means, okay, any value for all tau s less than 1. That means the real value of this to Zs, real value of Zs must be less than 1. Okay, this condition must satisfy. Otherwise, you see, this you also write, you should write this also. See here, a two-port network is conditionally stable if the real part of the unconditional, here unconditionally, sorry, here I have a mistake, unconditionally stable. A two-port network is unconditionally stable if the real part of Zn, real part of Zn and Zout. Real part of Zn means here, see here, looking into this direction is the Zn. Looking into this direction, that is the Zout related to tau in. Okay, tau in and tau in. What is tau in? You see here, tau in. Zin minus Z0 divided by Zn plus Z0. Tau out is Zout Z0. What is Zin? That is impedance looking into this direction. Impedance looking into this direction. Okay, so this a two-port network is unconditionally stable if the real part of Zin and Zout is greater than 0 for all positive real values of ZL and Zs. Okay, this statement you should write. See, why it is all positive real values of Z and ZL greater than a two-port network is greater than 0. See, if the real part of Zin and Zout is greater than 0, Zin actually depends on Zs. Zout also depends on Zl. Zn, real value of Zn. See, Zn is this. Real value of this Zn must be greater than 0. Greater than 0. Zn value. Zn depends on Zs. Zn depends on Zl. See, this, if this Zn value, real value of this must be greater than 0. What does mean by greater than 0? Real value R plus Jx. You know, impedance means R plus Jx. R is real. That must be greater than 0. R value. Okay, if it is a resistance value is negative, what happens? Negative. If a resistor, real part of this Zn is negative, then what happens? Less than 0. That is negative value. What happens? Real part of this Zn is less than 0. Negative resistance. Negative resistance means it is a oscillation start. Negative real, in the real application, negative resistance is not there. Always positive resistance. Okay, that's why if there is a negative resistance, it gives a positive feedback. Positive feedback means oscillation starts. In the oscillator, positive feedback will be there. Okay, positive feedback means that gives the oscillation. That's why it is stated here. Zin, see here is the input impedance is a Zin, input looking in this type. This Zin depends on ZL, depends on the value of ZL. Okay, so if this for some values of ZL, if real part of this Zin is less than 0, that means the amplifier start oscillating. Real part of this Zin should not be less than 0, that means negative resistance. Real part means R value, R should not be less than 0, that is negative. If it becomes negative, 2in becomes greater than 1, it start oscillating. That is the meaning of this what I said. Okay, so this is unconditionally, please you take as unconditionally stable if the real part of is greater than 0 for all positive values of Zs and Zl. These Zin and Zout are greater than 0, that is expected. Zin and Zout should be greater than 0, they should not become lesser than 0. Okay, okay, that is called as unconditional stability. Okay, so in unconditional stability what happens, Zin value and Zout values will be greater than 0 for all values of Zl and Zs. Okay, so it becomes unconditionally stable. Similarly, conditional stability, this is a statement, you should write this statement. Okay, a network is said to be conditionally stable or potentially unstable in a frequency range if tau in and tau out lesser than 1 only for a limited range of values of passive source and load impedances, that is tau s and tau l, that means Zs and Zl, but not for all values, but not for all values. Okay, that is what I have written here also. Here in this case what happens, Zin and Zout are greater than 0 only for some positive values of Zs and Zl. Okay, Zin depends on Zl, Zout depends on Zs. See, for some values of Zs, this Zout real part may become negative. If a real part of Zout becomes negative, tau out becomes greater than 1. That means it start oscillating. The amplifier start oscillates. Similarly, Zin, this depends upon Zl. For some values of Zl, this Zin real term resistance value become negative. If resistance value become negative, 2in become greater than 1. So the system start oscillate. Okay. So for some values of Zs and Zl, if this 2in 2 out become greater than 1, so it is becomes unconditionally stable. So we have to find out for what values of Zs and Zl the system is stable. If this is the case. Okay, so that is the meaning. You should just if you ask the what is the distinguish between conditional stability and unconditional stability, you should you should write about this. Okay, usually the question will come like that. For a given transistor, first they may ask distinguish between conditional stability and unconditional stability. Next they may ask check whether the system is stable or unstable, conditionally stable or unconditionally stable. So the question may take 8 marks. First is distinguish between conditional and unconditional, 4 marks question. Next part is check whether the system is unconditionally or conditionally stable. They will provide a problem like this. Okay. So you check this delta k values and from that it may carry 4 marks or 5 marks. So totally the question may carry 8 marks and also it is easy to do. It is not very tough. Okay. You can easily do that. So that is a definition and problem statement. Okay, definition or distinguish they may ask. Okay, conditional or unconditional. Okay, so analytical solution. What we were discussing here as a analytical solution. In the analytical solution, first we will do this delta k and you will come to know it is unconditionally stable. Need not to go for this graphical method. Okay, but if you come to know it is conditionally stable, k is lesser than 1, then what to do? You should go for graphical method because we should find out what values of Zs and Zl we should choose. Okay, to keep the transistor in the stable state. because we cannot operate in the unstable condition. Okay, you choose particular values of ZS and ZL such that for those values 2 in and 2 out are lesser than 1. Okay, because unconditional stability means we cannot take any value over the impedance. See, we cannot take here the Smith chart is there. Okay, this is a Smith chart. Here conditional stability means once we come to know it is a conditionally stable, we cannot take any value over this. Only a particular values over this Smith chart gives the stable operation. So you should first check which are the values gives the stable operation. For you have to check. So how to check that? That is graphical solution. Okay, we cannot use any value over this. Okay, only a particular values of impedances ZS or ZL over this Smith chart gives the stable operation. So you should check which are the values of ZL and ZL gives the stable operation. So for that you should go for graphical solution. Okay, that graphical solution only if you go if it is conditionally stable, otherwise you need not to do that graphical solution. Okay, so once we come to know it is conditionally stable, what we have to do, you should go for graphical method. Okay, and from that graphical method we will come to know uh, which values gives the stable operation, which values you should not use, that you will come to know from the graphical solution. Okay, so this is okay, graphical solution. Next we have to see. So once we come to know it is a conditionally stable, you go for graphical solution. Conditional stable, potentially unstable, you should go for this graphical solution. Okay, so what is this graphical solution? That we will see in the next class. Okay, hello, is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in the next class we
Yes,
will
ma'am.
see what is that graphical solution. Okay. Okay, today's lab I have given already PPT is there. I think instruction video is not needed for this one. So that's why I have given a PPT. All of you must go through that PPT. Just I have already given dimensions for that problem. Specification, you go through the last slide. There is a specification. Okay. For that specification, values you have to find out L, W, and MATLAB code is there. You run it in the MATLAB tool. Okay, get the values of W and S. uh, and you have to do that structure in the library. Doing a structure, it is not very difficult because it is a rectangles, all are rectangles. The thing is calculate the values carefully, W and S. Okay, I have given, but you should check whether they are correct or not. Okay, all of you do that structure in the today's lab. Okay, we will leave and we will see in the next class.